Welcome to Sneakers and Strategies, the podcast where high-level marketing throws on a fresh pair of kicks and hits the streets. Whether you're a rookie just stepping into the game or a seasoned pro, host Nick Kastner will help you find practical, actionable marketing insights that move with you. In every episode, he'll tear down the buzzwords and give you marketing moves you can actually use, whether you're a rookie or already deep in the game. No gatekeeping, no BS, just real marketing talk, tactics, and results. So if you're ready to stop overthinking and start executing, lace up and let's go. In Season 3, Nick's switching gears and going all in on Agile marketing, because in this game, speed and adaptability aren't optional, they're survival. If you're still clinging to rigid plans and red tape, this season's your wake-up call. It's time to move fast, break patterns, and actually get shit done.
Welcome back to Sneakers and Strategies. I'm your host, Nick Kastner, Director of Brand and Digital Strategy at Forum Communications. First, it's been a while. I want to first apologize for the hiatus. When I started this podcast, I had really good intentions and was aiming for a new episode every other week, and it just got ahead of me. So this season, to help me stay on course, is different. Much different than the past two. I would even say Season 2 was an incomplete season. But we're going to jump headfirst this season over the next 12 episodes into Agile Marketing. What it is, how it works, and how you can implement it in your business. 2 weeks ago, myself and Katie Dubnik, president at Forum Communications, presented some of these ideas to 80 business professionals in a suburban county here in Georgia. There's a lot of positive feedback, but because of time, we can only sort of gloss over all these topics. The whole point of Agile is to speed up your marketing. As you can imagine, things today are really fast across the board, every industry. And so for your organization to be able to keep up, being able to be agile and nimble and move a little faster is beneficial. It actually can help you overtake your competitors. So I'm going to start from the top of the Agile Marketing Manifesto, and we're going to go through the 5 values of the manifesto, as well as the more tactical or action-oriented principles, and talk about how you can implement this in real life. So to get started, let's talk about how all this started in the history of Agile. So we're going to rewind all the way back to the 1940s. Toyota, in its production leadership, wanted to determine a way to make car manufacturing more efficient. They wanted to cut waste, improve the flow of their projects, and at the time, they developed what we call Kanban, which literally means visual card or signboard in Japanese. And they use these cards on boards to track work moving through production. So a simple Kanban board would include 4 columns. It literally is a list. And so you've got 4 columns in this list. You have a list of backlog tasks, so stuff that needs to be done. You have a list of things that are being done. You have a list of tasks that are in review and a list that are done. And so the idea is that this method of project management puts all of the tasks in front of you. So you can determine what matters most, and you can easily move the most important tasks forward first. This allowed them to see the bottlenecks early and to keep projects moving. All right, so in technology, marketing, business today, Kanban is still used, and it became really helpful as it allowed teams to work visually, eliminate bottlenecks, limit work in progress bottlenecks, right? So all those projects that never get complete, they get started, but they never get finished. So it helped eliminate those, so projects actually moved faster, and it allowed the organization to be more flexible. Sort of the ultimate see it, fix it, finish it project management system. This was significantly different than the traditional waterfall method of project management. If you think about how you build a house or how a lot of organizations work, it's called waterfall. You start with one task and you move down the order, right? It's like a Gantt chart. There is an order to everything in waterfall projects. While some projects have to work that way, that's just the nature of it, it's not all. If you think about Toyota, just because you've always built the engine first doesn't mean that it's the most efficient or effective way to build a car. Or just because you built the frame first doesn't mean that's the most efficient or effective way. So maybe there's a bottleneck in that process. So if you can figure out where the bottlenecks are, you work everything around it so everything gets done on time, right? So it's this idea that you can move faster if you build something else first, just being smart about the planning. So Gantt charts are the way that we've traditionally managed projects. Kanban was a way that we could do something a little different and kind of build things and manage tasks as they come to us. And so that way we can manage things in an order that makes sense to prevent bottlenecks. Project managers have used both those forms of project management for years. But in software development, many times it ends up being waterfall. And so in 2001, 17 software developers who had become really frustrated met in Snowbird, Utah. At the time, all software development projects for the most part were ran as waterfall. And this traditional idea that this has to happen this way, this has to happen before this, and then this, and there's an order. It's slow, it's rigid. The processes were really bloated in terms of time and staff needed. Things took a long time. And so they knew there was a better way. And while they didn't agree on all points, they did share a belief that responding to change, collaboration, customer value, and actually working software, so actually getting to something that was done or we could define as done, were more important than creating endless documentation, heavy planning. So if you think about this idea of working software, what is the definition of done, right? If we think about as you release software into the wild, you see 1.0 and then you see 1.1 and 1.2, just like mobile apps, just like any software program for your computer. They're all done in phases because you make improvements over time. Why? Because that's really how Agile's built, is that we make improvements over time. And so they built this thing they called the Manifesto for Agile Software Development, and that actually started an Agile movement. You started seeing businesses start to adapt Agile frameworks. You start seeing big companies adopt Agile frameworks for their software, for the way they managed internal IT projects. And so, just like software, marketing starts to move in the same direction. A group of 30 marketers met at an event in 2012 in San Francisco, California, called Sprint Zero. Led by Jim Ewell and John Cass, they felt like traditional marketing had just become this, just like software development. It was slow, bloated, way out of sync. We build these huge campaigns, and then if they fail, everyone's screwed. Like, it's just not a good way to manage a project. So they did not like the way marketing worked. And the web had changed the way we were doing marketing anyway. So it made sense that maybe we were just doing marketing wrong. Since that first meeting, the Agile Marketing Manifesto has been edited twice. The first time in 2017, the second time in 2021. During my time at the University of North Georgia, I spent almost 5 years full-time at the university and overseeing marketing for the College of Business. And I really got into Agile. I was really intrigued by how it worked and how the teams worked and how it seemed that if managed appropriately and you had buy-in, it could be really effective. Plus, I was trying to do a lot of things with less. So how can we do more things with less staff, less time, fewer dollars? Being clever and agile. So there's a lot of ground to cover in what we were trying to do. It's typically me and an intern or me and 2 interns, and we were doing the work of honestly 5 people at times. So I moved from traditional planning and this waterfall methodology to Agile. And we were able to put the most important things in front of us to move the needle forward. It was honestly award-winning work. We did very well, and we were bleeding the edge of what could be done in a university setting. So if you get down to its core, the Agile Marketing Manifesto isn't about throwing out strategy. Actually, not at all. It's about actually taking your strategy out of the damn box and putting it in the dirt where it can actually work. Because what happens a lot of times is marketers come up with really great ideas and great strategies, but they never finish. And so again, if we can take the things that matter the most, put them in front of us, and we tackle those things first, and then the things that aren't as important or don't move the needle, we don't focus as much on those things, then we can actually move marketing forward. Today, we're going to talk about the first core value of the Agile Marketing Manifesto. So number 1, focus on customer value and business outcomes over activity and outputs. There's a poem by Jenny Noble Anderson that fits this to a T. So in the poem it says, "I've known a lot of hummingbirds. I used to be one too. But then I grew. An ostrich now. I listen. I wait. Grounded but quick when I need to be. I've still got that sprint in me." What? Okay. So let's explain how that works. Again, focusing on customer value and business outcomes over activity and outputs. It is really, really easy, so easy to get caught up in doing stuff without actually accomplishing anything. We've all been there. Like working to make sure that we meet how many blog posts we're supposed to put out for the month, how many social posts are supposed to go out for the week, how many emails are supposed to go out. We're supposed to produce a certain number of campaigns. Just busy, 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 right? All just to check a box. And some of that stuff may not accomplish anything, especially if we've forgotten why we've done it from the beginning. So are the things we are actually doing creating value for our customers? Are they creating value for the business? Are we helping the business grow? What are we doing? Like, go back to the poem. Think about how busy a hummingbird is. Don't be a hummingbird. How do we do things that move us forward? So just doing a bunch of stuff does not dictate success. For instance, posting every day on social media, posting a reel twice a week, running random ads. All of those activities do not matter if they don't deliver value, drive real results, or produce an outcome. This value, its first value in the Agile Marketing Manifesto, simply says to stop measuring success by how busy you look. Busyness is not a virtue. And just because you have done it doesn't mean you have to do it. I cannot count the number of organizations that I've worked with over the past 20 plus years that are afraid to pull ads that underperform because they've always done them. Some businesses will spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on poorly performing campaigns because they always have, or because of a political affiliation, or a nonprofit affiliation, or some other sort of affiliation. It's crazy, absolutely insane how much money gets wasted by businesses and organizations for reasons that don't drive any real value or outcomes. Think about it this way. So if you're like me, you don't want a gimmick, not about gimmicks, but I am a huge Atlanta Hawks fan. I like Trae Young. The team's made some good decisions in terms of who they brought on this year. Struggled because we lost one of those pieces, right? So he got hurt early in the season. And traditionally, I'm a Nike loyalist. So when it comes to sneakers, I typically buy Nikes. But I do own a pair of Adidas Trae Young 1s. They're great. They're really comfortable. And I wanted to buy a second pair when the 2s came out. But they're not practical. They look the same, but there's a fit problem. If you have a wide or larger foot like me, it doesn't fit. So to some degree, I wanted them because of who they were attached to, Trae, but they don't provide any value to me. There's no outcome for me. I can't wear them. They don't fit. So I don't want a shoe that's full of gimmicks and flashing lights. I want something that's comfortable, performs well, and stylish. The same thing goes for marketing. Customers don't care about how many emails you send. If you use too many images, or even all images in an email, they can't even see what the email is about in their browser due to the use of external images. So if you use Google or you use Microsoft Outlook and you have a bunch of email images in the emails that you're sending, people can't see them. It just looks like a blank screen. Customers want things that are helpful, inspiring, relevant. And the business wants things that drive value. So instead of asking your marketing team or your agency, have you posted 5 times on Instagram this week? You need to ask about engagement. Did they solve a customer service problem? Has your team helped find customer advocates for you? Are you working with influencers that are actually driving up engagement and driving reach and driving frequency? You need to aim at the goal, not the volume. It's just like if you're mixing a record. You're not supposed to mix as loud as you can. You need to mix so everything can be heard that you want to be heard. So on the business side of things, it's about tying marketing to actual outcomes. Are the leads better? Are you building brand loyalty? Are you increasing reach and frequency for future sales in the top of the funnel? Are more consumers adopting your product? It's not just about vanity that doesn't actually move the organization forward. We see that frequently where organizations want to know how many followers they have or how many website visits they received. But I would say it may not even matter. Does follower count matter if they're the wrong followers? Does website traffic matter if the website visitors leave immediately? Organizations want better volunteers, better donors, better leads, stronger brand loyalty, more products sold. So how do you focus, back to the value, how do you focus on customer value and business outcomes over activity and outputs? Stop worrying about volume. Focus on impact. Now, hear me. I'm not saying that every marketing activity has to lead to a sale. That's a misunderstanding. But it does need to lead to a measurable outcome. Every marketing channel has a purpose, some to drive awareness and some to drive conversion, and it should be measured. Agile marketing needs to measure success by the value delivered and the change created, not just production. So if you are running a campaign where you have to have 70 to 80% of your marketing dollars flooded to the top of the funnel to make sure that you drive enough awareness that you get the right leads out of the bottom of the funnel, that's okay. But it still needs to be measured. Because if we measure, then we can determine whether or not something is successful or not. In the end, it's not about being the busiest marketing team or the busiest agency or the busiest person on the planet. It's about being the most valuable. So in the next episode, we're going to cover the second value of the Agile Marketing Manifesto, delivering value early and often over waiting for perfection. Thanks for taking the time to hang out with me on Sneakers and Strategies. If you're enjoying the podcast, subscribe, leave a review, connect with me personally on LinkedIn. That's it for this episode. We'll see you next time as we again discuss Agile marketing and more ways for you to stay a step ahead of your competition.